Y'all, shit, come to my Twitch. Everybody, come to the Twitch, YouTube. Y'all see the video? We are doing promos that hurts the pushes. Yeah.
Pushes that have come and gone, and for some, it's all down to a single promo. Some of these are more complex, but in this video we talk about some of the wrestlers that had some of their pushes ruined due to promos. So without wasting time, let's get into it. Okay. The Attitude Era allowed for wrestlers to be unlocked and more grounded. It was a time for you to show everything you were capable of, and for many, this worked tremendously. The Rock, if it wasn't for his heel turn in the Attitude Era, might have gone down differently. If you weren't a good talker during the Attitude Era, it meant you weren't a good talker. With the advent of vampire movies in Hollywood, the WWF finally decided to go in that direction. Gangrel was always a character that Vince Russo wanted to bring to the WWF, but it came with reluctance though, because Vince McMahon didn't understand the concept. Gangrel's pretty cool and unique, which is always a great thing. He had great presentation and a lot of charisma during his entrance. He was used to help put over Edge and Christian, but any hopes of having a push himself went down the drain in 1999. Now Gangrel wasn't supposed to be this big name, of course, which is expected, but this promo was the beginning of the end of the Brood. There's a certain mystique with the group that already went away a bit once they joined the Ministry, but this killed it completely. And they were already making plans to move forward. There was no proper delivery, personality, and if you hear this promo with no context, you would not think this guy was a vampire, or as they said at the time, lived an alternative lifestyle. Christian did himself a favor and didn't utter a single word, whereas Edge's promo was a bit funny looking back, was the best part of the segment, and it wasn't even good in itself. The Brood should have never spoken. Once he had the mic in his face, he started talking, and at one point he's like, "We were forbidden from speaking by The Undertaker." And after this promo, I see he did the world a favor. Then he talks about the essence of life, all while I'm just staring at the crowd. They're at the show to see the Austin kick ass, and here they were subjected to a monologue with no coherence about...
That's kind of crazy. That's crazy. Gonna do not the Brood like that though. I want to know who ideal to make them talk. That'd be a Vince idea. He already hated it. He ain't get the concept. He's like, fuck it. Let's just end it. Shit. Yeah, you say this shit, it's gonna be a rap, and yeah.
About life. Yeah, so Gangrel, what'd you think about your match? It was wonderful. It also gave me the answers about the unseen and my self-realization of the Brood. That doesn't make sense, but it's about as coherent as this promo. Gangrel was a solid wrestler at the time. He had a lot of moves in his arsenal, but promos weren't his best suit. They started pushing the other two a couple of months later, but for him, he started wrestling more often on Heat and Jacked. Poor guy couldn't even get a European Championship reign, which I thought he deserved, but it is what it is. Matt Hardy's singles run had a great start with his V1 character. He had a great understanding of who he was, and coupled with some solid matches at the time, it made him a wrestler to watch out for. The push goes south, he moves to Raw, gets involved with the Kane and Lita story, but he comes up with an injury. And that time he learns that Lita and Edge have an affair and ends up lashing out, leading to his release. Hardy was at his most popular after WrestleMania 21 as fans were chanting his name on a weekly basis, feeling that he was unjustly treated. And then his return came. This was one of the most anticipated stories of 2005, a story that involved the real life. Something that could be turned into a storyline. But right when Matt...
I ain't gonna lie, this one of the craziest storylines all time. Boy, that, like, I always gonna say, bruh, that backstage scene when Edge and Lita was walking, then all you know that Matt Hardy came out of nowhere, woo, and they start brawling, bruh. That wasn't scripted, but it was so real and entertaining, bruh. You want Matt Hardy to fucking beat Edge's ass for this scheme. That I ain't gonna lie. When Edge got with Lita, that's when he became a scheming ass nigga, because bruh, he pulled out scheme of the century, nigga, with this one.
Matt had a microphone in his hand, it all went bad. For one, Vince introduced Matt Hardy, who came out of a limousine. He had a great reaction from the crowd, but then started talking about how he hoped Edge and Lita would die. Called them their real names, which is something I personally hate, then said he hoped they die in a car accident. It was so simple, but then he made it complicated, and to make matters worse, Edge had a way better promo the following week and made Matt seem like a nobody. He made fun of him. He's like, you delivered this promo for months. You've been waiting to deliver this kind of promo, and that's all you had to say? He embarrassed him. His push was going well until this promo. Obviously, I don't believe it would have changed much, but it probably accelerated the results of this story, with Hardy being cooked and losing his match at SummerSlam via referee stoppage. Then the ladder match 2 months later, which he ended up losing in embarrassing fashion. He did get a win in between, but this was always going to be a story for Edge to benefit from. They loved Edge since the beginning and always found a way to protect him. Why would it change with Matt Hardy? This whole segment felt weird with Vince introducing him. It already took some allure away from Matt, and I'm playing armchair booker here, but I don't think Vince introducing him here was necessary. Bayley down in NXT was...
The fuck, what? Oh, probably on his side and shit. I'm like, damn, you still talking? I was gonna put my two into in that, but I didn't knew that because I always wondered, because I've been watching all the Raws and stuff. And I'm like, I never seen that. I probably skip over it, but that's crazy, bro. Nigga, I wouldn't. Whoever was writing promos during that time, need that ass one.
Or special talent from Full Sail. Bayley felt like a pure babyface and someone with unlimited marketing potential. Almost like she could be the John Cena of the women's division. An inspiration for kids and also a tremendous talent. Her character started as a fangirl but evolved to become a resilient underdog that could take on any challenger, even if she wasn't the favorite. The development of Bayley's character in NXT was excellent, but also posed a problem from the main roster because what works in NXT doesn't necessarily work on the main roster. You don't have that much time on the main roster. You're not in the same arena in the same city every week. Plus, Triple H had a much better understanding of the character than Vince did because he created it. Bayley had some struggles in her first year on the main roster. On paper, you'd think it was tremendous, but watching it, it's an entirely different story. Her promo ability was under a huge microscope during this time. There was this Raw Talk segment that highlighted her shortcomings with Lita and Booker T adding fuel to the fire. It was so awkward and embarrassing, but it set the tone for a WWE run as the Hugger. WrestleMania 33 was a great victory for Bayley, but there's a reason why it's forgotten. This Is Your Life. One of the most damaging segments for a talent in WWE history. Bayley had to reconstruct her entire character to become everything different to what her Hugger character was because of this promo. This Is Your Life for The Rock worked as a segment to display his incredible chemistry and charisma with Mick Foley. This is like destroying the Bayley character in one segment though. Alexa embarrassed her, said she likes hanging out with her father instead of friends, which is dumb by the way, because it's like, how's that worth mentioning? And even the presentation of the segment with these people coming out was horrible. There was nothing good about this. And they managed to destroy the Hugger character with one segment. When Bayley came out, Alexa Bliss overcame her. And then when they had the kendo stick match, Bayley was too scared to use the kendo stick.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. That kendo stick match, bro, that was the nail of the coffin. What the Bayley This My Life's little thing, that was gaslighting it. But this was the nail of the coffin because, bro, Bayley was too scared to use a kendo stick. And then when I was watching this match, I was like, just hit her with it. Hit her. And she didn't hit her. I was like, bro, they just killed her. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was no hope and no justice for Bayley. Hey, she turned herself around.
Stick on her, which negates the whole point of competition because she's like, I'm scared to leave a bruise on somebody. Well, this woman embarrassed you in the middle of the ring, made fun of you, your family, your whole essence, your identity, and you didn't do anything about it. The story was that Bayley was a loser, and despite her efforts, it was proven to be true. Then the fans started booing her like she was the one that booked this story, and it took 2 years for her to recover, and it involved a heel turn where she killed the Hugger character once and for all. Bayley's run is a lesson. Make sure you got something extra just in case the first thing doesn't work out, because that's what happened here. She turned heel and became a much better performer and didn't need to rely on the Hugger gimmick anymore. So this one's a bit of a bonus. It's not exactly a main part of the video. I just added this in here because it doesn't fit the full theme of the video, but It's one promo that if you've seen, you know that said person wasn't the same afterwards, and it took them some time to recover, and even then they're not even to the same level that they were in the past. Heading into 2020, Killer Kross had been in WWE's radar. He was someone pegged to compete on the NXT roster, and upon his debut, I didn't think much, to be honest. So when I saw him win the NXT Championship, I was very surprised. Personally, I was very surprised to see him win the belt because Keith Lee had just won it himself, and it felt like he was going to go on some sort of run. But instead, it ended prematurely, and Karrion Kross, as he was named in NXT, was the champion. Very surprising. While Kross did come down with an injury, he ended up reclaiming the title about a year later. At this point, you could clearly see that Triple H really loved him for some reason. I think it's because of the fact that he plays this mysterious character that has a lot of vagueness to him. I don't know, but Triple H really loved him. Other than that, there's this one promo I remember specifically in NXT where he went face to face with Adam Cole. Adam Cole ripped into him like crazy and showed why he was one of the best promos in NXT. Like, that's the thing with Adam Cole back then. He had an incredible promo ability. He hyped up Kross as this over-budgeted wrestler when all Adam Cole does is wait for the bell to ring. It was incredible. It was one of the best promos in his entire career. It was a scathing promo.
What's this? What takeover event? What's it? What takeover event it was? It was a build-up of y'all let me know in the comments what takeover build-up it was, because I forgot, because now I'm remembering Adam Cole did turn him to part though.
Because Kross didn't realize that Adam Cole had the knockout punch coming momentarily. He ripped into him like crazy. He said that Kross needs the WWE machine, the girl, the entrance, whereas he, Adam Cole, all he needs is for them to ring the bell. That's all he needs to show off his talent. It was insane, but it was also one of the best promos in Adam Cole's career. Now, I will say that it's actually crazy that WWE allowed for him to speak the way he did here, because he was on his way out, whereas Kross was the NXT champion, and made him look very bad. And it's one promo that I'd say changed the perspective of Karrion Kross to the fans. And one that kind of shows you how hard it was for them to protect and push Karrion Kross as opposed to someone like Adam Cole. I'm not going to say this one ruined his career, because once he went to the main roster, he was at the mercy of Vince, obviously, and some nonsense. I don't think this promo has to do anything with that, but I think for the fans' perspective, it kind of does make you see Karrion Kross a bit differently if you haven't before. Not everyone, of course, because he has his fans, but that's why I decided to add that in here. It's not as big as the others because, as I said, I personally believe Kross, regardless of this promo, was probably going to have the same fate on the main roster under Vince. But I just wanted to mention it here as a bonus one. One of the most hyped up talents from the last couple of years was Austin Theory. I've heard a bit from Theory since his days in Evolve, but he just came out from out of nowhere near the end of 2021. Theory was seen as a flashback to the early Ruthless Aggression era, someone that had similarities to the younger versions of John Cena and Randy Orton. He was one of the only young talent pushed hard at the time, and looking back, his push was actually a bit crazy because one way or another, he'd pop up on the screen. He was pushed as Vince McMahon's pet project, and personally, I thought they were moving too quick with Theory at the time in some ways. A bunch of us.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't like, bro, the booking was like crazy. Like, the push was super crazy. But, oh my God, when he won the Money in the Bank, I'm like, at first on my TikTok, I was like, yeah, nigga, yeah, he the future. And I really thought about it. I was like, damn, you're really not the future, because he can't cash it in on the blood on Roman. He can't. I don't see nobody cashing in on Roman and he lose his side like that. No, I don't see that happening. So they was screwed. Bro, Austin Theory was screwed when he won the Money in the Bank. He was screwed when John Cena had called him out. Once Cena had called him out, I ain't said that ruined his push, but I said the money, when he lost the Money in the Bank contract, try to cash in Seth Rollins, but he failed. That was dumb. That was dumb. I ain't gonna hold you.
We're proven right. He had a strong push in early 2022, winning the
That
United
was really
States
cool.
Championship. Theory was flying
Me.
high, but then Vince left his position in WWE. He left because he got outed and there was too much public pressure. Enter Triple H. Triple H actually booked Theory consistently on NXT 2 years earlier, but this whole run was entirely different. For one, Roman Reigns on one of the first Raw episodes that Triple H took control embarrassed Theory badly, telling him that his daddy isn't around anymore. Ironic. But then this was followed up by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens cut one of his best promos in his entire career. He reminded him that he can't rely on being one of the best young wrestlers anymore. That's nice and all, but it's in the past, and it's time to sink or swim. It was a destruction of Theory's character and basically, in a way, asking him to look in the mirror and understand that he's replaceable. KO had one of his best promos, amazing stuff here, but Theory's booking was all over the place. They had him fail his cash-in for the US title, and it's hilarious because we all know he wouldn't beat Roman, but at least have him do the cash in on the main title. He looked like a wimp failing to cash in on a mid-card title. Like, I know it's Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins, but it's the US title. No matter what they do, it is not the main title. Then he became angry, won the belt anyways 2 weeks later, and walked into a program that proved to be the end of his push. John Cena for years had been putting over talent, but this one was a bit too much. The reason why it was too much was because Austin Theory was walking into a WrestleMania program with the greatest of all time. That's what WWE called. If the previous promos were bad, well, this one with John Cena was the one that brings Austin Theory to the point where he is right now. John Cena didn't think Theory deserved it, and the man just went 200% with a man he knew wasn't going to be able to give him that kind of pushback. He put every criticism about Theory into one promo, and this is the thing. John Cena always has a strong advantage in promos, but one of the things that helps him so much is that he always brings in real-life topics into promos to destroy somebody. It's unfair. Theory responds making Conan a bald spot, and that's all he could get because...
That's facts. That's why I say, bro, I can't wait till he destroyed Cody Rhodes on that mic. I can't wait.
Cena laughed it off, and when Cena laughed...
Shoot, before y'all... when y'all get this video, it probably already happened. I probably... too soon, Not too soon, too early. Too early. Yeah, too early.
Laughs off something in a promo and no sells your complaints or your insults, you are cooked. It is done. This was his ultimate test, and he failed. But it was a bit unfair because he was going up against John Cena trying to prove a point. I don't think Theory deserved this match, but it also didn't help him at all feuding with John Cena and having this promo thrown at him. And to make matters worse, this was John Cena's only appearance in the build-up to WrestleMania 39. He himself wasn't even invested in feuding with Austin Theory to develop a story. When the match happened, everything John Cena said was proven right, and that was the end of the push, because just beating John Cena isn't enough, of course. You need more than that. Those three promos and the failed cash-in are what brought Theory to this point. Alright, these are promos that damaged wrestlers' pushes. This is a short video because, well, it's easy to make, to be honest. I'd rather upload consistently than take a long time on certain things. I thought this list was decent. We could do another one of these in the future. You know, there's a lot of others to talk about. I just wanted to make one quick, but I enjoyed this video, and I hope you did as well. So yeah. Alright, what'd you guys...
Nah, this a cool little video. Wrestling Empire. Promos that hurt the pushes. Bro, that Austin Theory push, bro, will be forever the most, bro, craziest push ever because, bro, he really just came back to the main roster because he was in the main roster with Seth. Then he came back. Then all of a sudden he was just winning. We was like, okay, you can build up new stars, but you start seeing him too much. Then you start winning the big matches like the USA championship. Like, dang, then the Money in Bank, it was like, dang, bro, you doing it. Then what really killed it, it was just like you said, when he lost his Money in the Bank contract on against Seth Rollins, and he was the USA champion. I'm like, bro, couldn't do that. Like, that was the dumbest cash in ever.
Let's think of promos that ruined wrestlers' pushes. Please comment down below. And that's for this video. Make sure you hit the Twisted Fan on the like button or perhaps an A-Town down on the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.
This may be the last ad you see.
Throughout the history of
She.
This may be the last ad you see. Would pineapple
But yeah, yeah.